You don't see it coming. You just stop moving. One touch from this animal fires 860 volts directly into your nervous system. Your muscles lock. Your lungs freeze. And you're already underwater. The electric eel doesn't need teeth. It doesn't need speed. It rewires your body against you in milliseconds. This is not a metaphor. This is electroreception weaponized. A biological taser scaled up to something your body cannot negotiate with. Humans have built entire power grids on less voltage than this single creature generates from its own flesh. And here's what makes it worse, it doesn't even need to touch you directly. The discharge radiates outward through the water. You could be a foot away and still go limp. In murky Amazonian water, a foot is nothing. You wouldn't even know it was there. First, it is not actually an eel. It's a knife fish. Closer genetically to catfish than to the eels you picture. That's the first surprise. The second is far more unsettling. 80% of the electric eel's body is dedicated solely to generating electricity. 3 specialized organs, the main organ, the hunter's organ, and sax organ, run nearly the full length of its body like stacked biological batteries. 6,000 electrocytes, each one a modified muscle cell, fire in synchronized sequence. The result is a discharge that dwarfs a standard household outlet by a factor of 7. But here's what separates it from every other shocking animal on Earth. It doesn't just emit a pulse, it emits a targeted, frequency-controlled signal. Low-frequency pulses navigate and sense. High-frequency pulses communicate. And the high-voltage burst? That's the weapon. 3 distinct electrical modes. 1 animal. In 2021, researchers at Vanderbilt University discovered something no one had documented before. The electric eel can curl its body into a shape that concentrates the electric field, essentially doubling the voltage delivered to a target. Put yourself in the water. Not the Amazon, just a dark, slow river. Waist deep. Visibility, 0. The average human nervous system operates on signals measured in millivolts. Fractions of a volt coordinate every heartbeat, every breath, every voluntary movement your body makes. Now introduce 860 volts into that system without warning. At 50 volts, human muscle control begins to fail. At 100 volts, ventricular fibrillation becomes a real risk, the heart loses its rhythm. The electric eel fires at nearly 9 times that threshold. The shock doesn't just hurt. It commandeers. Your motor neurons, the ones that tell your arms to swim, your legs to kick, your throat to stay open, receive a signal so overwhelming it overrides conscious command entirely. For that moment, you are not in control of your own body. The eel is. And the duration matters. For 2 centuries, scientists assumed the electric eel's high-voltage discharge was purely for stunning prey. They were wrong. Kenneth Catania at Vanderbilt spent years studying eel predatory behavior and uncovered a more sophisticated system than anyone expected. The eel doesn't fire blindly. It modulates. It reads feedback from each discharge, sensing how the target responds, and adjusts the next pulse accordingly. It is, in functional terms, running a real-time diagnostic on your nervous system while it attacks you. There is a second species, Electrophorus voltae, discovered in 2019 in the Brazilian Shield rivers. It produces 860 volts. That's the highest bioelectricity output of any known animal on Earth ever recorded. The original species scientists studied for 250 years wasn't even the strongest one. And then there's the defensive discharge, the one that matters most for humans. When threatened, the eel performs what researchers call a leaping attack. It surges partially out of the water, pressing its chin directly against a perceived threat, pressing the positive discharge pole against exposed skin, maximizing current transfer directly into the threat's body. It learned to fight land animals. Animals that don't live in its world. We talk about human dominance over the natural world as though it's total. It isn't. We've mapped the Amazon from satellites. We've cataloged thousands of species in those river systems. We've built boats with sonar and GPS to navigate those waters. And we still cannot safely share a shallow river with one fish. The electric eel doesn't recognize our tools. It doesn't process our technology. It responds to movement, to pressure waves, to the electrical signature of a living nervous system in its water. And when it fires, nothing we carry stops it. This is the humans versus species equation stripped bare. Intelligence versus instinct. Infrastructure versus evolution. We build systems to protect ourselves from nature. The eel is the system. It has been, without modification, for 100 million years. We are newer here than we think. And some animals have not been waiting for us to catch up. If this episode rewired how you think about freshwater predators, share it. Subscribe to Humans vs. Species for a new confrontation every week.